In order to get this video into a 10-minute YouTube spot, I've sped it up, but it still seems to work. We're making a Moai statue from the Easter Island here, and we're choosing to use cardboard rock technology to do it. In this particular case, it's a weight issue. When this statue is done, I believe it weighs about 300 pounds, 7.5 foot tall, 4 feet wide, 3.5 foot depth. It's a big item, and yet to weigh 300 pounds is next to nothing. Anyone else that would make a statue of similar property would be outweighing me by so much it would be funny. Right here now, this is the base that we're creating. The neck comes out of the base to give stability to the chin, which then forth gives stability to the whole face. But it's the chest and chin area that we're making this with. And you know, I've thought about a lot of different ways. I mean, when I was asked to build this, I gave a quote, $2,500 for this statue, and I've quoted these statues a lot in the past. I say a lot, maybe 10, 15 times, I don't know, over the years, and no one's ever spent the money to have us make one. They wanted one, but they didn't want to spend the money. Well, this lady did. I said to the guys, go down there and get me some cardboard and mock up a statue. Here's a photo of what I'm trying to have you make. And they're like, we can't do that. We don't have that, you know, ability. Skylar said to me, he said, well, I'll get some styrofoam, and you know, we've got a 4x8 block, 4x4x8. It would have been just perfect for this job. He said, I'll carve it. I said, that's $300 worth of foam right there. There's no way you're going to use that, and there's a mess in the shop, and it would have taken him a considerable amount of time. So I've always wanted to do a statue this way, but I basically didn't have time to do it during the workday, so I took it home to my shop. And over the next couple of weeks, I spent here and there, nights, you know, weekend here and there, and it took me about 50 hours to make this. But mind you, I didn't make it like I was just making one. When I got done with what I'm working on right now, which is the base, the chest, and the chin area, when I got to that point, I realized that it'd take me a considerable amount of time to figure out what I have just so simply done in seconds here now. And I thought, I'll undo it, I'll trace it, and I'll have a template forevermore, and I'll simplify this for anybody who ever wants to make anything like this in the future. So I started going up, going a little bit further, taking it back down, making a system out of the template. When I say a system, any one of my guys could have taken my carbon copies and been able to make and have the key marks for all these fold lines. Do you see where I'm at right now with the tabs and how it's lining up on the neck? Those are all reference lines. You see the fold, the cut lines, the screw to lines. I made a system that was easy, and I think if I'd have just made a copy just not even a copy, if I'd just made the original one, I probably could have done it in probably, I don't know, a third of that time. But by making the system took me longer. At any rate, the base is done. Now we're starting on the face itself from the chin up, and those are handles that I created in the sides of the cheeks there, so as you could pick it up and move it around the shop, just for simplicity's sake. But anyway, getting back to the copies of this, we now have this in a kit form, or you can buy it ready-made, anywhere from 18 inches tall up to the 7.5 foot. I haven't challenged myself to go above the 7.5 foot yet. The computer will let me do it because these are scanned into the computer, but at the same time I don't have it at this point. But we do have the kits where you can have the template, you can have the the muds that we use, the texture, the stain, the sealer, everything you need to make this kit, or you can buy it ready-made. Now this original one I did for $2,500. Today I can make it for $1,250 out the door. Here's a box that we're making that's going to support the inner face, or right around the eyes, which is a interior support, so it doesn't have any compression issues. It's not going to compress in and collapse. These are braces now that I'm adding, which are just channels that I've made out of cardboard that are extremely strong. Anyway, the face is being braced. But going back to what I was saying, the aspect of this being in kit form, or we can make it for you in real time where we just send you a statue and it's already made. This is all available now. You just give us a call at the number, or you can get an email to us from the website that you see on the bottom. I also have this for the people that we train as far as rock, or the people who buy a kit. We have a 4-hour DVD on this. and it steps you through precisely. You see me talking in this clip here saying what I'm doing. Well, that's exactly what we do in the DVD, but it's all slow time, and it makes sense to, and I'm telling you, why do you screw it this way? Look at what you cut here and why you're cutting it, and it gives you all the understandings that you need to properly make this set. But all right, here now we're working on the jaw area, I guess you'd call it, and getting it. Look at all the cuts that we've got marked out, and then we have the overlap screw line. We're taking flat cardboard, making a perfect radius that'll give his jaw the precise replicated form of what I saw in the Easter Island statue. At any rate, I'm just thinking here, we're about to end on this one clip, I believe. Nope, looks like I still got some time here. At any rate, going on here, we're using just regular drywall screws to hold this together, and in this, the one area we just did, we were about every 2 inches. Some of this I've got it screwed about every 4 inches, some of it I've got it screwed about every 2 inches. It depends on, like on the lower jaw there, that was a lot of bend and a radius, and it was kind of a tugging, pulling type of a thing, so we secured it with a few more screws than we did in other areas. But rounding things on the table gave me an ability to take flat cardboard and radius it, and then just cutting out the dimensions that I did was the other aspect. This nose was a lot of fun to do. Kind of weird the way that they actually did it real time there, the Moai statues. They just had a flat area underneath the 2 nostrils that was just like I don't know how to say it. It was just, you'll see it as we mud it, but this is what I found in there as far as images on the websites there. As I said, I went and looked at the most popular viewed photos, the most celebrated photos of the Moai statues, and this is the one I chose to replicate. There are so many different forms out there. I guess it's up to you what you want to make, but this one here, like I say, is ready made, and it's out the door real quick. Figure, you know, all of it. When you're looking at dry times, I think over the 5 days that we did this, but mind you, we made 3 of them in that time, and there was also the repair of areas that I didn't feel were up to the aesthetic standards that I was looking for. But I think it took a 5-day period. This is obviously the first day where we're just cutting it out and getting it all screwed together, and then the next day we actually mudded the horizontal areas that are vertically the way it stands right now, like the underside of the chin, the base, the underside of the lips, the nose, the brow, that sort of thing. We just basically mudded those and then let it sit. Truth be told, when I mudded my first one, I thought I could cover this whole thing with mud based on its strength that was apparent to me in the form that I had made. I thought it was pretty strong. When we started covering it, we had a sag, and it then collapsed. So it was not possible to mud this with the 3/4 inch lay of mud that we were looking for initially. So what I did was I staged it. There were 2 days to mud, and then I had no problem putting on, you know, the first day I put on a little bit of mud, the second day I could finish the thing off and it didn't move. So I found that through trial and error, and again, I think that's one of the benefits of our courses and our purchasing from us, is that we do have field tested procedure and technology that isn't going to surprise you in any capacity later. We're gonna give you sound, tried and true tested understandings. In this particular case, I found that the way that I designed for the aesthetics, trying to replicate the aesthetics of the chin area was challenging to me, and if I had it over to do again, I would have made an interior brace that was somewhat different. With that being said, I didn't go back and do that, but I did alter the problem by procedurally addressing the way you mud it after you have built the form. Instead of going back to the form and making it to where you could mud it all at once, I said, what the heck, let's just take what we got and make it work. So the chin area, I think if you mud that along with the neck that's exposed, as you'll see in the next clip here, you won't have any problem at all when you stand it up and mud it. It'll take it. It just sagged right there on the underside of the chin, and that's from the weight of the whole head bears down on that, literally, and I could understand after why it collapsed. But currently, I think we're about to end in about a minute and a half here. This is the ears that we're putting on now. I didn't really like the way that the Moai statues, their ears were done by the Easter Island guys. I don't remember what their names are now. Moais, I guess. I don't know what. Anyway, the ears, the way that I saw them, I've made them this way on the statue that you see here, and I